Orion at Kings Island is about to open to the public soon, and I am very excited to make the trip up to Ohio to ride their new Giga Coaster. Before I made a video on my official review of the coaster once I ride it, I wanted to share some of my thoughts on the just released Orion POV. Am I impressed? What are my likes and dislikes of the coaster so far? What do I think will be the best part of the coaster? And will it be a front or back seat coaster? Welcome to Theme Park Predictions. My name is Brandon, and I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you too would like to be a part of the Theme Park Predictions family, then be sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my other videos. When the leaked blueprints were shown all over social media of the proposed layout of Orion before the park announced it, most coaster enthusiasts, as well as Kings Island fans, were hoping that they were fake, myself included. Then the park made their official announcement and animated POV, and it appeared that this coaster had some nice potential. To me, Orion has always seemed a little lackluster. The layout just seems uninspired, and I'm not a huge fan of the placement of this coaster either. However, I love the color scheme and the overall look of the station area. It's always funny to me the people who want to take the time and energy to argue if this is a true Giga Coaster or not. Yes, the top of the lift reaches only 287 feet, and the drop is 300 feet. So what? Just be glad you have a new coaster at the park. So let's jump into this newly released POV from Kings Island. As you can see, the lift hill is fairly quick and steep, just like Fury 325 down at Carowinds and Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. As the train crests over the first drop, you will get an amazing view of the rest of the coaster, as well as the Racer, Vortex, and parts of the Beast. I do love seeing the giant upwards helix on the right as you're dropping down the drop. Now coming into this POV, my most anticipated element of Orion would be the first hill after the drop, which is a sideways airtime hill. What intrigues me about this element is the speed of the coaster train traveling over it, and judging by the POV, it looks to be worthy of the best part of the coaster for sure. I was worried about the turnaround losing so much speed, unlike Fury's, and this looks to be true unfortunately. I wish this coaster would enter this turn from the ground and spiral upwards. Now for another part of the ride that I think will be a ton of fun, which is the short airtime or speed hill if you will. This looks fun and reminds me of Mako's speed hill right before the mid-course. And for the massive 147 foot tall hill, it looks kinda blah due to the trim brake. This hill had a ton of potential, but the trim brake really kills the momentum for the rest of the coaster. Next up is the upward helix, and this looks to be very forceful. I will enjoy looking up and watching the lift hill spin as the train is traveling through the element. Then the drop under Orion's first drop looks very promising. Then into the final airtime hill before the train reaches the 100 foot tall brake run. So here are my final thoughts. I love Kings Island, and it's funny how Kings Island really doesn't have a top 10 worthy coaster to most people, like your Maverick, Fury, El Toro, or even X2. The top 5 coasters in my opinion at Kings Island would be the Beast, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, Banshee, and now Orion, in no particular order. All great rides, but is there one that really stands out above the rest? That is my only complaint with Kings Island, and that is a great complaint to have, because it shows how good overall this coaster lineup really is. What I like, the first drop on Orion will be amazing for sure, and this coaster at night will be pitch black, and that is something that Fury or Leviathan cannot offer. So this will be a huge positive for the new coaster. The first sideways airtime hill, this will be a ton of fun, probably more in the front of the train than the back. The speed hill, depending on the airtime, this could be Orion's star element. The upwards helix, this looks very enjoyable and forceful. Then that drop out of the helix under the first drop. Now what I don't like, the turnaround looks pretty blah to me. The 147 foot airtime hill, that trim brake, if it wasn't for that, this could be a great part of the coaster. Then you have the last airtime hill that takes you to the 100 foot tall brake run. Orion to me is just too short. It's like a movie that you love the first hour and then the last 30 minutes has a horrible ending and leaves just a bad taste in your mouth. Kings Island could have hit a home run with this coaster, and I think they fell short, mainly due to the length and similarities with Diamondback. For example, comparing Orion to Diamondback, Orion is only 39 feet longer than Diamondback. Also, Orion is only 57 feet taller than Diamondback. Kings Island already has a coaster focused on floating airtime and large hills and drops, so they could have made Orion more like Fury with more low to the ground elements to really have the riders feel the sense of speed of this coaster. As I mentioned earlier, I would love to see the park build Orion near the front of the park. This would really make the coaster feel larger as well as make more of an impact on the park's skyline. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't make an impact, but every part of this coaster is away from the park. The one cool feature of Leviathan, Millennium Force, and Fury is the guests walk around and underneath them. Really adds to the experience. Another example of this is King's Dominion with Intimidator 305. It's in the back left corner of the park. If they built that coaster closer to the front of the park, it would have better ridership and more guest interaction, as well as look even more intimidating. Now, judging by the POVs, I think Orion will be more of a backseat ride. I prefer Fury in the backseat, and I just think that would be the row for the best riding experience. Overall, I think Orion will be fun, and judging by the animated and official POV, I will go into this ride thinking it could become my new favorite coaster at the park, but then part of me thinks I will still enjoy Mystic Timbers more. I cannot wait to get out to Kings Island this summer to ride Orion. It will be a ton of fun, and in the end of the day, roller coasters are meant to be just that, fun. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and check out my other prediction videos. Thank you.